Welcome back everyone to our Let's Play series of Autonauts. And here you can see we're picking up right where we left off at the end of our very first video. We've got our guy down here digging holes so that we can plant new seeds. We've got our seed planter. You can see him grabbing a seed and planting that now. Our tree chopper. Let's actually come over and wind him back up because we have some trees that have grown and matured. So he's ready to get back to work. So what do we need now? Well, we need a few other things in order to get started. One thing I would like is I would like to have a bot to come by and pick up all of these logs and drop them off in the pallet. The other thing I would like to automate is the stone deposits. I would like to have a robot that would come by, mine the stone, and have someone to take it over to one of these crates. So we've got several bots that we really need to get built. So let's go ahead and get started. It doesn't really matter, I don't guess, which ones we start with. It's all fun to me, so we're not going to worry too much about that. You notice that, oh, we need to make a tool up here for our tree chopper. Otherwise, he'll be out of tools the next time his axe breaks. So we'll get to that here, hopefully momentarily. So there we go, 3 there, and we'll drop this other one off. We'll grab this pole, put it up here. Now we just need an acorn, and we better hurry up and find an acorn before our planter gets it. And nope, I don't see any over there. Where can we find an acorn nearby? There's got to be some around. Yeah, here we go. So we'll run over here, grab that one. And we'll have everything we need for our next bot. Go ahead and scroll in here. And there we go. Let's go ahead and charge him up. Alright, so what do we want this guy to do? Well, if we want him to break the rock, then we're going to need to finish up this workbench so that we can automate it the same way we did these others. But I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to have him pick up the logs and deliver those. But before we get quite that far, we're going to go ahead and create another tool there. Alright, so in order for him to have somewhere to put these logs he's going to pick up, we need to create our pallet. So we need 1 log, 3 planks, and 2 poles. Alright, so 1 log, that shouldn't be too hard. There's one sitting right next to it. Alright, now we need 3 planks. Let's go ahead and grab the 1 plank that we have in storage. And again, we're going to need storage at some point for these as well. Let's see, 2 more planks and 2 poles. Okay, let's bring our tool. Hopefully we got enough left in our tool to make it through creating some more planks and poles. Oops, wrong area. Alright, so now we just need 2 poles. So we're going to pull our tool back out, create some planks, and then we're going to use one of those planks and create some poles. Let's see, where is our other pole? Or did we already pick it up? Maybe we already picked it up. No, it's sitting on top there. There we go. There we go, and we are all done. I love the building animation in this game. It is absolutely fantastic. Alright, so now there's nothing in our pallet, but that is perfectly fine. So let's go ahead and let's wake up our 4th robot, and we're going to have him follow us. So what do we need you to do, robot? We need you to come over, pick up the log, and we need you to drop it off in the storage. That's it. So before we set up our loop, let's go max area. And once again, we're going to have him use, I think this is the same area. I can't remember exactly where that area is, but I think this is it. Might actually be that. Let's go with this. That's perfectly fine. It's not off by much if it's off at all. Alright, so now we have everything ready to go. We don't need him to have any tools for this. So we put the loop function around and tell him to do it forever. And now he's up and running. All right, so he's going to grab the log. Let's make sure he does what we need him to do. There we go. Now we have 2 logs in there. And we're all set. How is everybody doing? Looks like we got some people that need to be recharged. So let's go ahead and get those guys recharged. Got this guy in mid-swipe there. He looks like he was in the middle of working. That was almost like the Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz there. All right, so the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need an area for the stone. In order for us to do that, of course, we're going to need to create this workbench. Go ahead and get it taken care of so that we can make our pickaxes. And then we're also going to need to create this plank, which is going to take us some crate, which is going to take planks as well as poles. All right, so what we're going to do is, first and foremost, I'm going to come over and I'm going to steal. Because he's done a lot of chopping right now. So if by me taking his tool and if he runs out and has to sit still for a while, that's not the end of the world. We've got tons of materials out here right now. So the most important thing to me right now is that the digging and the replanting is up and going, because we are well on our way to filling up this log storage. So let's come over and get this log. We're going to drop it on the ground over here for our purposes. And we're going to chop it into planks. Oh, and there we go. We just broke our tool, but that's no problem. We know exactly how to make another one. So now let's go ahead and grab this one, put it in our backpack real quick. All right, I'm going to grab this log, even though it doesn't really matter because we're not in their way. I'm just going to take this to an area out of their way. Okay, now let's drop these off over here. All right, that's all the planks we need. Now we need some poles. Let's go ahead and work on this log since it's kind of out of their way. All right, then we're going to create some poles. And then we'll be all set with some additional storage. All right, did you just pick up everything? No, you did not. All right, I don't think he picked up... No, he didn't. I couldn't quite see. It was nighttime. And I couldn't see if he had picked up all 4 of them or not. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll jump up and down on it a little bit because that's how the magic of building happens. And we have a crate. So what we're going to do is let's just go ahead and pick up a couple of rocks here. And we're going to right click and drop them off in our crate. There we go. All right, now we're all set on that part. Now we need a couple of logs and a couple of sticks in order to finish up this workbench. So let's go ahead and grab the sticks first since they're right here nearby. And then we'll grab a couple of logs. And we'll make quick work of this. Looks like we got some guys over here running low on energy. That's okay. We'll recharge them here in just a few moments. So for right now, we have to go around and recharge these guys. But I'm guessing as we get a little further into the game that we're no longer going to have to do that as we work our way toward full automation. So now we've reached our second milestone in forestry. We chopped down 30 trees. Dug the soil 30 times, planted 30 trees, and now we've had 30 trees that have actually grown. All right, so we're moving right along. Now we've got our first apparel. We got a lumberjack shirt and a lumberjack's hat. All right, our commemorative slab is getting bigger once again. All right, let's see. What do we need to do now? I'm actually going to go ahead and let's get started with our very first pick. Okay, so we're going to drop the stick in there. Then we're going to get a rock. All right, there we go. So now it's sitting there. Let's actually go get another rock because I believe we have one more in there. And let's find another stick. All right, we're done. You can see these guys stacking up quite nicely there. We'll go ahead and pick one of these up. All right, so now we'll set it off to the side for a moment. And again, we need to create some more tools up here for our cutter. But unfortunately right now, we got other stuff that we need to be doing. So let's go grab some more resources. So we'll grab our log. All right, let's see. Who is stuck? I believe it's actually our hole digger. All right, yeah, we're in great shape there. Let's run over here and pick up this plank that we've left sitting over there, because that'll come in nice and handy for our new job. Let's swap back over to our tool and create the remaining 2 planks that we need. There we go. We'll drop these off at the assembly unit. All right, now we need 1 pole and we need a tree seed. Well, we've got plenty of tree seeds right nearby. This guy's sitting over here waiting for another hole to be dug. We'll have to see. This guy here doesn't have anything in his hand, which is interesting because he's got another spade over here waiting for him. But we'll come back to him. We have our first problem-solving opportunity to see exactly what's holding this guy up. All right, there we go. We've got our 1 pole that we need. There we go. Awesome. Now we've got yet another. Let's go ahead and pick up this plank while I'm thinking about it. Otherwise, I will certainly forget about it. And we'll drop it off right up here. Our storage is nearly full, so it's waiting for us to come and start doing some other things, which we have plenty of work to be doing. All right, let's go ahead and wind him up. And then we're going to come over and grab our tool. Then we're going to press the space bar. Okay, we want bot number 5. It's hard to believe we've already got 5 bots that are up and working. So we're going to have him record or learn from us. We're going to come over to the stone deposit. And we're going to mine some stone. You can see that takes a few minutes with these crude tools right now. And then there we go. 1 stone pops out. Now, for our purposes right now, we are not going to have him turn around, grab that stone, and take it over to our storage. We're going to create another bot to do that, simply because it's more fun to do that. But if you wanted to, you could simply have him pick up this stone and take it back over himself. But again, we're trying to keep things pretty simple here. 1 bot for 1 task. All right, there we go. This area will cover all of the stone deposit. Let's go ahead and put that forever, change that to until hands empty. And then whenever that becomes an issue, we're going to have him move over. Oops. Stop. That's not what we wanted to do. I went to the spade instead of the pick. All right, so we're going to start all over again. So let's just go ahead and stop, and we'll do it all from the top. So we're going to come over, have him move to the stone deposit, mine the stone. All right, and as soon as he's done with that, we'll set up the territory, which is pretty close to what we already had. Then we're going to put a loop function on that. Do that until your hands are empty. Then, after that, we need him to come down, not to the spade, we need him to come down and get the pick. So we're going to have him move to the crude pick, and then he's going to pick up the crude pick. All right, so that's all we need him to do, so we'll put our final loop function over that, and we want him to do that forever. All right, so we'll go ahead and move out of the way. We'll drop the pick down so that he can grab that, and he can go get to work. So our next job is to go find some more logs. Let's see. Our guy here is full on his storage, so we'll go ahead and help him out. We'll take one of those out so we can get back to work. All right, we need a couple more planks. Let's see. Yes, we do have a tool for that, so we'll come right over and we'll grab this log that's still on the ground. We'll close out number 5. You can see as you get further and further into the automation, things become quicker and quicker to do on your own because there are fewer and fewer things that you actually have to take care of by yourself. Up here, our next bot is going to come up here, grab the stone, and take it back to the storage and drop it off. That's going to be its sole function for right now. All right, and thankfully, he won't need any tools for that. So we're going to go ahead and whistle with the space bar, left click on our bot, and follow us. So we want you to come up here, pick up this stone, and then we want you to take it over to the drop-off point. And there we go. That's all I need you to do. So we're going to put a loop function around that. Let's define our area where he's going to look for stone. Done. And he's off and running. Let's stay with him for just a moment and make sure that I did everything right. So he's going to come over. He's going to find one of the stones on the ground. Let's get out of his way. And he's going to add it to storage. And then he's going to go back and start all over again. Now, some other potential opportunities for automation just right now in the game with where we are currently. We could, something I mentioned before, create storage for acorns and actually have our planner come over to the storage instead of picking them up off the ground. You could do that if you wanted to. We could automate having all these sticks picked up. And by having all these sticks picked up and put in a storage, which would be this one right here, that's what I have planned for this, that will allow us to automate picking up sticks and stones to make further tools. So there's a whole process, and like I said, this game gets much more fun for me the deeper I get into the game. It is so much fun. All right, let's actually take a look. Looks like everybody's busy except for our guy up here. He's still waiting patiently for his axe. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Let's make him an axe so he can get back to work because we got some trees for him to chop down. Okay, we're going to come over and we're going to grab one of these stones. Okay, we're up to how many stones? 5 stones right now. Okay, so now we've got another axe. Here comes our worker. Our bot's going to pick that up. And you can see no collision there. We don't have to worry about pathing. And that is a really good thing. I'm sure it saves a lot of CPU cycles. Here is a boulder. We could actually create a unit that comes over and chops on that boulder, but we're going to leave him over here in the deposit we see in the ground. All right, now let's see. Next thing, let's go with the crate. We're going to do planks and poles. Wow, that's a lot. I'm right now thinking I might want to do some more forestry over in this area. Yeah, I like that idea. I mean, everything is running quite nicely. Of course, we've got tons and tons of logs. So I tell you what, before we get to that, let's actually come back into our blueprints. And we have a new item that we talked about briefly earlier, which is our chopping block. We're going to need a log and a crude axe for that. Let's see, where do we want to put this guy? It really doesn't matter a whole lot. So we'll just put this guy, we'll set him right here. All right, there we go. So we need a log and a crude axe. So let's go ahead and drop our crude axe in here. Okay, and we need a log. There's plenty available either in storage or along the ground. So now we'll have our chopping block. And again, as we talked about earlier, this chopping block will enable us to automate the production of certain things, such as, in this case, if we move over to it, planks or poles. Okay, we're going to leave this one on planks. And then we're going to do another one right next to it. And we're going to let that one be for poles. So once again, we need to go and create an axe. So we need to get a stone. And then we need to get a stick. And then before anybody can come over and grab this thing, we're actually going to grab it ourselves and drop it over here. Now we just need one more log, which we'll run and pick up one of the many we have on the ground. All right, there we go. Jump up and down until it's built, and it's now built. All right, so we're going to have this guy make the poles. So now we have one for each of the two resources that we'll make from our logs. So now we need to automate that process. So how do we make how do we automate our tool production? How do we automate our production of both planks and poles? Well, we're going to need a lot more bots to do that, which of course is all of the fun. All right, there we go. Let's see who needs a little bit of help here. Who's run out of steam? Actually, okay, we're good there. Okay, so we've chopped down all the trees, so he's waiting for some more trees now. We could probably use with some more hole diggers over here. We don't really need any more planters, but we need some more diggers over here, probably. But again, that's all things there. It just seems like it is limitless in the possibilities for expansion and further efficiencies. All right, so let's go ahead and create, let's see, let's go ahead and create a bot that will pick up these sticks. All right, so first things first, we need to have some planks and some poles. So we're going to go ahead. Let's drop this log off. All right, there we go. 2 more planks there. We'll drop them off at our bot assembly unit. And then we'll come over, pick up another log. All right, so that'll take care of the remaining planks that we need. And oops, I put them in the wrong spot. So we're going to have to make some more. Look at me, not paying attention as I should have been for that. I'm just, again, you get in such a routine making more bots that it almost becomes just natural to take all your resources and drop it off here, because that's where you spend most of your time as the game progresses, or at least as far as I've made it to this point. So no harm done. We're going to need those planks over there eventually anyway. So now we need some poles. So let's go ahead and grab another log. And this time we'll only need this one log. There we go. And, oh, I'm sorry, we need planks here. Got a little bit ahead of myself. We need to make the planks first. All right, we'll take it over and drop it off. Make our first batch of poles. Then we'll come over and do the same thing and finish up with the 4 poles that we need. Alright, so we got all 4 of them. And we're done. Alright, so this is going to be our storage for sticks. So let's just go ahead and drop 1 in here, just for good measure. Alright, now we can come back and get started on, let's just grab one of these poles. Over here we'll get started building another bot, whose job it will be to go around and pick up all the sticks in a certain area. Alright, we need 1 more plank, which means that trying to use up some of these logs that are here on the ground. So we need 1 more plank and then some poles. So that'll work out perfectly because we can get all we need from this 1 log. Alright, there we go. Let's drop the pole off first. Then we'll grab our final plank. And then we'll head out. Where is an acorn? Is there an acorn around here somewhere? Am I going to have to go looking for one again? Looks like we're going to have to go looking for one. Oh, thankfully we won't have to go very far. And let's drop him off here. And lo and behold, after our magic of jumping up and down, we have built another bot. So now 7 bots for us. Let's go ahead, press the space bar, and then click on this bot. Let's see, this guy, what is he going to be? He's going to be Stick Dude. That's simple enough. That will definitely help us to remember who he is and what he does. All right, so we're going to have him follow us. Come over, pick up the stick. Feel like I'm training a dog here. Pick up the stick and put it away. And yes, it's that simple. He's probably looking at me like, really? Like, that's all you want me to do? All right, I think that's a pretty good area. So we'll go ahead and take care of that. And we want him to do this forever. And so let's let him get started. So as we come to the end of today's video, we're just going to follow this guy for a minute and make sure that he does what he needs to do. Again, you can always see, if you're getting stuck, you can always see exactly what step they're on. So if they get stuck somewhere, then you'll have an idea of what it is they actually need. Alright, so everybody is up and working, or at least most of the people are up and working. We need to get some of these guys, looks like we need some more tools here. So that's one thing we need to automate. And so that'll take us several steps to actually automate that process. But once we do, it will be smooth sailing and ready for our next step. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. And stay tuned for more Autonauts.